G'day ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing? Scotty49 here with you once again for another installment in the Warhammer 40,000 for the New Guy series. Now in this video we're going to keep on digging into the Necrons as our second faction in this series, and today's video we are specifically looking at starting the army to how to start a Necron dynasty for yourself and start building up your own Necron army. But before we jump into the video, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone that has subscribed here on the channel as of late. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content. And if you haven't already and you do enjoy the content, feel free to hit that sub button, turn on that notification bell so you're able to be notified as to when I am posting content up here, whether it's more installments in the For the New Guys series, battle reports in the Wargame Highlight series, and tournament coverage from various events that I will be covering later on this year. But ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into it. Alrighty, so as you know, there are several different ways that you can go about starting a Necron army, and it can be somewhat confusing with the amount of kits that you have to choose from for them. Now, in today's video, I'll be talking about 3 different options that are the best ways, in my opinion, to start a Necron army, and all of these are going to be under 250 Australian dollars. Now, note that any monetary value is going to be in Australian dollars, so please consider your own regional currency if you are not from within Australia when looking at these options as well. The first option that we're going to be looking at is the Combat Patrol. Now, the Combat Patrol contains the following models, and this is put together by Games Workshop to be the starting point for a Necron army for one of their ways. Now, in this box, it has got a Necron Overlord with Resurrection Orb, 10 Death Marks / Immortals, 3 Tomb Blades, and a Night Scythe / Doom Scythe. And the total cost of this Combat Patrol comes to $210. I believe it's always pertinent to look at the individual kit's cost when you look at the Combat Patrols. So individually, each of these kits come to a total of $317, which means by purchasing them in the Combat Patrol itself, you're saving $107, which is actually quite a significant saving for us here in Australia. Think of it this way, you're getting that Night Scythe effectively for free, and then some on top of that, maybe even that Necron Overlord as well. So, depending on how you assemble this box set though, whether you build 5 Immortals, 5 Death Marks, the 10 as Death Marks or the 10 as Immortals, and the Tomb Blades, as well as the Doom Scythe / Night Scythe kit, this box can actually come to a total of 475 to a maximum of 540 points, so a decent starting amount of points there for playing your Combat Patrol level games. I believe that it is a great starting point for the following reasons. Again, it's great value for money. You're saving over $100 by starting with this option for a Necron army. You can legally make a Combat Patrol detachment with all the models within this kit, so long as you build 5 of the Death Marks / Immortals as actually Immortals to be able to use as a troop choice in that Combat Patrol, so you're able to play legal Combat Patrol 500 point level games to start off with and start learning. And you know, the models are quite resilient. Most of them are toughness 5, if not toughness 6, even though they are few in number. There is also a solid amount of firepower in this option. Between the Immortals or your Death Marks, the Tomb Blades, and the Night Scythe or Doom Scythe, for both dealing with both infantry and vehicles, as well with the Doom Scythe if you do choose to build it that way, or more lighter vehicles if you build the Night Scythe in the other option there. However, there are a few cons that I have when coming to start with this Combat Patrol for your Necron army. All the miniatures in this Combat Patrol are fully fledged kits, which means there's no easy to build miniatures in this box whatsoever, and so you're probably going to want to make sure you're following those instructions, and some of the options that you'll have to choose from can be quite daunting as to whether you want to go down one weapon path or another weapon path, unless you want to start utilizing magnetization and other ways of being able to swap out kits and options if you're looking to pick up the Necrons as another army after your first few armies of Warhammer 40k. Now, other than the Overlord, this option doesn't really have a lot of close combat units that you get access to. So it more means you're fighting a ranged battle in those combat patrol games rather than a close combat battle. Overall though, I really like this option to start off with a variety of units, get to choose between Immortals and Deathmarks, and the way the Tomb Blades are kitted up, and the Night Scythe / Doom Scythe, you get to choose how they all look. And of course the Overlord, it does already have that Res Orb and Void Scythe, so that's already chosen for you. But overall, I still think this is a great option. However, as per usual with these, we do look at two other options, and instead of the Combat Patrol, option number 1 has got these options. So with this one being the first alternative to the Combat Patrol, it would be remiss of me not to go down this route. And to focus with this one, we're picking different elements than what the Combat Patrol focus on, as well as picking them from 2 different boxes. And these 2 boxes are the Recruit Edition starter set, which you get a Royal Warden, 10 Warriors, and 3 Canoptic Scarab Swarms, and the Elite Edition starter set, where you get an Overlord, 10 Warriors, 3 Scorpic Destroyers with a Plasma Sight, and 3 Canoptic Scarab Swarms as well. Now, the cost of this option is $65 for the Recruit Edition and $120 for the Elite Edition, coming to a total of $185 for both kits together. That is standard RRP though. If you get it from a local retailer that does discounts, it will be cheaper. Now, this option roughly costs 300 Australian dollars if you were to purchase all of the individual kits just as their standalone boxes rather than in the Recruit and Elite Edition. So you're saving close to 115 Australian dollars by purchasing these 2 boxes alone, just from the Necron side, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Now, everything between these 2 boxes, as they are set loadouts, comes to a total of 615 points to use for your games if you use everything in them. So a bit more than what you get for that Combat Patrol box. The pros for the second option for starting Necrons that was focused around the Recruit and the Elite Edition. So this method is quite cheaper and is the cheapest cost of entry compared to the Combat Patrol, and it even gives you more points to start off with as well. Another pro is that this option also gives you another starting force, another army, which is the Space Marines that we have also previously covered in this series as well. The miniatures in these sets are also easy to build miniatures, which means if these are your first models and your first foray into miniature wargaming, then they're going to be a lot easier to assemble and work with rather than some of the full-fledged kits in some of the other options that we're going to be talking about. You can use a selection of models from these sets to create a legal patrol detachment to play your first Combat Patrol size games with as well. And there's a good mix of both shooting and close combat units within this option also. And honestly, with this option, I don't really see any cons to it, other than maybe the Warriors being the troops choice compared to Immortals. But outside of that, you're still going to be able to get some use out of the Warriors and still going to be able to have some fun games for your first couple of games when learning how to play Warhammer 40,000 with the Necrons. Now, overall, if you are wanting the cheapest option for starting Warhammer 40,000 with a Necron army, being your first army to be doing so, or if you're looking to get that second army as well when you are starting to get Space Marines so you're able to play with a sibling or play with a friend as well, this is probably the best option to start off with, as then you're getting that ability of being able to learn against another force rather than learning against just, say, another series of Necron units, just doing a bit of a mirror match, for example. Instead of option number 2 for the Necrons, and this is going to be the other option that you can start off with instead of going the Recruit and Elite Edition route or the Combat Patrol route, and this is actually made up of 4 different kits. It's made up of the Technomancer, 5 Immortals / Deathmarks, 5 Lichguard / Triac Praetorians, and a Catacomb Command Barge / Annihilation Barge kit. Now, the cost of this option is $55 for the Technomancer, $61 for the 5 Immortal / Deathmark box set, $66 for the 5 Lichguard / Triac Praetorians box set, and $66 again for the Catacomb Command or Annihilation Barge, coming to a total of 248 Australian dollars. Now, these all individual kits, however, the Catacomb Command Barge / Annihilation Barge kit does come with an Overlord, so there's a small saving of about $30 there. if you're going to use the Overlord separately to the Annihilation Barge. But the good thing about this kit is that it does come with a base for that Overlord, so you're able to chuck that Overlord on the Annihilation Barge to use it as a Catacomb Command Barge at some point if you wish to do so as well. Now, everything between these boxes can be used in the following configuration to make up a maximum of 490 points. And to start off with that, you use that Overlord by itself with the Technomancer. You make 5 Immortals instead of 5 Death Marks out of the Immortal Death Mark box. You make 5 Lich Guard instead of 5 Triac Praetorians out of the Lich Guard Triac Praetorian box, and you use the Annihilation Barge as a full-fledged Annihilation Barge. There are several pros to starting with this option as well. There's a good solid mix of shooting and close combat ability here, having some Immortals and the Annihilation Barge to do some shooting, the Triac Praetorians and the Overlord to do some close combat, and the Technomancer just to be able to help resurrect some models, whether it's the Immortals or the Lich Guard as well, really help out there also. And by configuring them in the way that I've just previously mentioned, you're actually able to legally build a patrol detachment to use all of these units with to start off playing your first games of Warhammer 40,000 with the Necrons. However, there are several cons that do go along with this option. All of the models, as we've talked about with the Combat Patrol, are standard kits without any easy to build miniature options in here as well, which can be quite daunting if these are your first models you're looking to assemble, or if you've lost the instructions and you haven't assembled these miniatures before. That can also be quite a challenge to navigate as well. Also, with these selected options, there are very few options to go with for these models compared to some of the other options for the Necrons as well. So bear that in mind if you're wanting to go down this route. Overall, this is a great second option to start off with if you're not wanting to go the Combat Patrol route, or you're not wanting to go down the route of the Recruit and the Elite editions, if you are wanting to still start a Necron army. But ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. There are the 3 different options that I would recommend to start off with collecting a Necron dynasty of your own if you are wanting to start collecting Necrons for Warhammer 40,000. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, well, I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I've kind of given you a nice clear 3 different options that you can start off with Necrons out. One of them being the Combat Patrol, but the others being outside of potentially the norm that you may have thought of. Now, of course, some of the other factions won't have the Recruit and Elite Edition options, so some of the future ones will just be standard kits as well. But if you've got any other ideas of like you want to maybe swap out for different kits as well, feel free to let me know down in the comments section below. And if you haven't already and you've enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like on the video. And if you want to see more of this style of content, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell so you're able to be informed about when I am producing more videos, when I'm releasing more of these kind of videos, so you're able to be informed and equipped as a Warhammer 40,000 player. So you're not only getting to know the army that you're starting off with, but also you can know the place of all the other factions in the game and the core rules that they use and their pros and cons of what to watch out for them as well. And if you've got any questions or any feedback, feel free to come and find me when I'm live over on Twitch, where I stream on Tuesday and Friday nights and Saturday afternoons, Australian Eastern Standard Time, where we do hobby sessions. I travel to tournaments right across Australia, doing live tournament coverage almost every month, or hopefully almost every month, and also doing some live games from time to time as well. But ladies and gentlemen, hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.